Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this very important video tells you all about the full moon eclipse of the 3rd of March 2026 and suggests ways we can each open to the life-changing vast potential of its energies. It's a genuinely vast life-changing gateway, actually. It's a powerful case of a double eclipse. The first one was the new moon eclipse on the 17th of February, just gone. And we need to know that there's vast death and rebirth energies in a pair of eclipses, and of course in the days and weeks following. I can open to so much if we do the work. The rewards we each can gain feel life-changing, are life-changing, and they can be karma-changing, not least because the nodes of the moon are involved. So you can now create the chance in your life to identify issues and karmas and patterns in your life that now really do need to end, and new ones that are needed to come into being and can come into being. You can work out how to end the old spent karmas, some of them dating back to past lives over thousands of years. And we can each of us glimpse a vision of how to work on the replacement far better me patterns. We must each stop hiding away from the true you, the true me, and we must succeed in doing the work. Now, importantly, you can see the astrology charts for these 3rd of March eclipses on the relevant month astrology page under the More drop-down on my Star Wheel Astrology website. The links are down below under the YouTube. So it's starwheelastrology.com, and under the More drop down you could open the February 26 page and of course the March 26 page. And by the way, as a very helpful addition to this video I'm now filming on the March the 3rd eclipse, do please also see the 2-part video about the eclipse of a fortnight ago, the new moon eclipse of the 17th of February, because of course they're in the same sign in Vedic astrology and they're related. And the links again are down below the YouTube in the presentation. Okay, so I now describe the Vedic and Western astrology charts for the eclipse full moon of the 3rd of March before going into the detail of the energies and what we can do with those energies. Now, a key foundation of my work is that I always combine both your Vedic and your Western astrologies. We definitely need both to get an adequate full picture, and Vedic astrology, using the sidereal zodiac, is anchored to the fixed stars. It's essentially a statement of our fate and destiny self, of our karmas and their unfoldment in this lifetime and why we are here. Western astrology, on the other hand, uses the tropical zodiac, which is tied to the sun's position on the day of vernal equinox each year, spring equinox. And it's essentially a statement of something quite different, though obviously totally related, namely our emotionally based self. Who is that? And its unfoldment in this lifetime. So it's all about astrological psychosynthesis. And there are actually wonderful astrological age points of unfoldment of our psychological self that I always include in readings and courses. Oh yes, and do have a look at the wonderful Vedic and Western astrology combined courses I do, and indeed on my Druid Forest School website page. Look at the many wonderful courses I do in the sort of area of shamanic healing and the divine traditions of the ancient Irish and the ancient Norse. And I think the reason I do those and have been doing them for over 30 years is, because they're my ancestries. Irish on my mother's side, Norse on my father's side. Now, what's the difference between the two? Well, it's called the Ionamptia. And depending on the year you were born, the difference between the two zodiacs, well, now it's at 24 degrees 13 minutes. So that's the Ionamptia, the difference between the two zodiacs. Okay, let's look at the chart for the March the 3rd eclipse in Vedic astrology. So the sun is at 18 Vedic Aquarius. And in terms of the nakshatras, the utterly wonderful 27 lunar signs of Vedic astrology, the sun is in the mystical Shatabhishak nakshatra. Such a special time for spiritual openings. And note that sun is super ambitious, conjunct Rahu North Node. Rahu's at 14 Aquarius. And of course that sort of driven ambition needs to be purified and identified and admitted to. And Sun Rahu people can find that a great difficulty. But we all have our challenges. Now, Mars. Well, Mars and retrograde Mercury are also in Vedic Aquarius, so it's a 4-planet combination, a 4-planet conjunction. Okay, at the other side of the eclipse, the moon of the eclipse is at 18 Vedic Leo. And moon is conjunct Ketu, the south node of the moon in Vedic Leo. And in terms of the nakshatras, the 27 sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology, well, moon is in Purva Palguni nakshatra, ruled by Venus. And Venus has a very special place in the energies of this eclipse full moon and its bigger context going back to the earlier new moon a fortnight ago. As you'll see, hear more about Venus in a bit. So, okay, just a footnote of stating the planet positions. Do note, we've been talking about the nodes of the moon. The sun is conjunct Rahu, the moon is conjunct Ketu. But do be aware, in the case of this full moon, very divisive energies are around. Don't sort of let them drive you, don't get sucked in. And that's because all the planets except Pluto are to one side of the nodal axis. So this means that Kalsarpa Yoga is entwining us now, divisiveness. Now then, in Western astrology, using the tropical zodiac, Sun is at 12 Pisces, Moon is at 12 Virgo. And indeed, as we'll be seeing below, the sort of Pisces-Virgo axis is very activated. And basically, what about those two opposites? Well, Virgo is about health, healing and right living and healing. Pisces is about intuition and sensitivity and going beyond. And of course, the combination is so often found in the charts of the intuitive healer. But there are other utterly key factors in this super powerful, huge opening of energy doors and spiritual doorways this March the 3rd eclipse. Now the first I would list is that Uranus is conjunct asteroid Sedna. Uranus, the energy of revolution, is at 3 Vedic Taurus. That's 27 Western Taurus. And it's conjunct Sedna, the asteroid of terrible events energy, at 6 Vedic Taurus, Western Gemini. Now, if you personally receive an aspect in your chart from this frightful conjunction, but even the frightful can offer us gems of utter wonder and spiritual growth. Be prepared to deal with a terrible event, possibly, and be called to learn through that terrible event and become more the fuller you. That's what we're here for. That's the karmic intention of each one of us humans when we're born. The Vedic perception is that at the moment of our death, at the end of our previous life, our higher self reviews all the karmas we ran up in our past life, and in all our past lives, reaching back thousands of years, and makes a selection from those of the karmas we especially have to work with in this life, and that's our Vedic birth chart and all the wonderful divisional charts derived from it. So if it's helped to you, Uranus conjunct Sedna, I have Uranus conjunct Sedna in my birth chart, and it's actually opposite my Mars conjunct Chiron in Vedic Scorpio. But at this time, I've been offered such insights and clarities about my woundedness and opportunities to find healing. And I hope I can rise to the occasion of those opportunities. And just specifically, I've just been discharged from a week in hospital. It was earlier this morning, my discharge, with gallbladder and liver infection. I was admitted, emergency admission a week ago. But all through that week in hospital, I have had such insights and breakthroughs thereby. So our challenges can be used that way. So it's also, just as a very important add-on to the Uranus-Sedna point, Mars is square Uranus, square Sedna at the time of this eclipse. My goodness, what a warlike energy. Okay, point number 2 about this 3rd of March eclipse. In the heavens, Chiron is conjunct asteroid Eris. Chiron is, of course, our existential wound energy, and it's at 0 Vedic Aries, so deep in the immaterial Gandanta zone. There are 3 of those Gandanta zones. They are the transition points from water sign to fire sign, Pisces to Aries, Cancer to Leo, and Scorpio to Sagittarius. But the whole point is that really, as so clearly understood by Hinduism and Tibetan Buddhism, if we get immersed in the immaterial. We can go beyond this world into the God realm. And there are obviously many techniques of doing this. And I sort of worked with them on and off over 5 years doing a field study for Bristol University, living in those sorts of institutions. Of the Western reception of new spiritual forms. So this Chiron Eris conjunction at the hinge point between Vedic Pisces and Vedic Aries has been going on a long, long time and will do so. But during it, I feel blessed to share with you. I've been offered such insights and clarities and wonderful opportunities to find and define healing to increase my vision. And of course, all this is if each of us can rise to the occasion now. So thirdly, the key thing to know about is Saturn conjunct Neptune. Now Saturn's at 7 Vedic Pisces, Neptune's at 6 Vedic Pisces. Now Saturn-Neptune conjunct at its highest is offering you a Saturnian structure and container for Neptunian vision work and sensitivity. A pathway, a structured pathway of visionary work and spiritual growth. It's a most wonderful, exceptional vision work opportunity indeed, and it's part of this eclipse. I've been doing loads of weekly vision work, and it always includes tarot and runes, followed by a shamanic journey to go deeper into the revelation of the tarot and the runes, and then the forming of an intention, and then the use of a Norse technique called Sevir to sort of cement in your intention. You see, it's so important to know that Saturn's nature is to demand your karmic fulfillment. You're doing the work. Same for me, same for everybody. But also it's so important to be aware that if we do the hard work, Saturn's reward to each of us is golden reaping, if you do the work he demands. Okay, like point number 4, Venus is transiting in Pisces. That's from the 1st of March to the 25th of March. Now, it's very important to connect to this. It's such an opportunity for love to flower now. You see, Venus is exalted in Vedic Pisces. It's wonderful, but of course it does need work, commitment, the raising of our insights. And if it's a case of two-way partnership sharing, it's relevant to the situation, that Venus will actually bless the connection. You see, Venus in Pisces, Vedic Pisces, is exalted love energies. And be aware that exalted Venus doesn't just shower wonderful love energy. He's mystical, powerful, inspiring. We need those qualities now. Mystical, powerful, inspiring. Connect to those qualities now. And in Vedic astrology, the divine nature of Venus is that he's the preceptor of demons, the teacher of demons. So he offers a route to divine healing to each of the other planets and our utilization of their energies and our expression of their energies, the preceptor of demons. And in Vedic astrology also, exalted Venus offers us Lakshmi's blessing of wealth. So identify this. How might we be open to it? Go for it now. We have until March the 25th. He is beauty and poetry. He's sex and good relationship skills. Beware self-pleasing, of course, that can happen when Venus is very strong. Exalted Venus offers commitment, music, art and dance, grace and warmth, the ideal in love. As a fifth and concluding point on the list of key energies, I would like us to note that Black Moon Lilith is square the opposition between the Sun and the Moon of this eclipse. Now, Lilith is so important to know about. It has to be included in every reading and course that you do. And what is Lilith? Well, Lilith is what is stuffed down into your unconscious and your shadow. And it starts off in our life hidden to our awareness. It's unconscious. You know, our conscious self is but a little corner of the fullness of the map of ourself. Behind that corner is a range of mountains, and behind the range of mountains is a vastness of different facets of self. That's the sort of Jungian model, which is wonderful. Now, we humans usually start off anyway unable to